Hey everybody, this is Brian Reynolds from thejanereport.com. Thejanereport.com. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Second one, this one is going to be about the blatant hypocrisy of the security officials across our great country. And we're going to be talking about a little bit about how that's just stuck in my craw right now. Basically a story out of San Diego, California. Evidently, some guy out of in San Diego, California. This is on my website where was it? Two police officers right here. Two police officers were confiscated pot brownies from a young man in San Diego. Three Houston police officers were under investigation after they allegedly got high off the pot brownies they confiscated from a 19-year-old. 19 years old. The accusations are coming from Nicholas Hill, who was arrested for marijuana possession on May 10th in the Houston Press reports. The evidence against the police officers is pretty strong. There are police transcripts in the car. Evidently, their in-car computers have the ability to make transcripts, and here they are. One police officer says, "So high, I got the munchies." He wrote that 2:44 in the morning, and looks like they were planning to get food afterwards because the next police officer said everything should still be open whenever we get done. That's pretty damning, right there. Okay, what I'm laughing about is what I like about that is. Anytime I've ever gotten really drunk or go to the clubs or whatever, and you get the beer munchies or you get just the regular munchies, and you're literally counting down the hours and the minutes whenever you get off work or whenever you're leaving the club or whatever. I mean, there's been times I've been dancing with my girlfriend where I'm kind of hammered and all I can think about is Taco Bell. I'm serious. Like all I can do is think about just leaving. So I want to have Taco Bell now. I don't want to dance anymore. I really just want a cheesy potato burrito with some nachos and a Pepsi. Oh my God. I'm hungry now thinking about that. But I am not high right now, by the way. I'm not high when I do these things. No, okay, so back to these security officials. They basically, the police officer, and they do it themselves. Now they're high on the job. They're high on the job. they're fighting crime while high from this, confiscating the drugs from this guy in San Diego. Now, let's go over to Colorado. The district attorney writes an opinion piece in the Coloradian that talks about how dispensaries are a problem for the city of Fort Collins. Even though there's a study out that says Fort Collins benefits a great deal from the economy, like the economy of Fort Collins benefits a great deal from the medical marijuana dispensaries, and he's choosing to ignore that. He's choosing to ignore all the budget shortfalls that come, when you run a state or a state or a city, all the budget shortfalls they have to deal with nowadays. And this product is helping it. He chooses to ignore that and focuses on, I guess, increased usage of marijuana among teens. Even though, how do you even know it is the medical marijuana that's creating this? It's all anecdotal. There's no empirical evidence that supports this. He has a problem with basically medical marijuana. Now you have in California, you have police officers confiscating drugs from one 19-year-old kid minding his own business. And you got another DA, district attorney in Colorado, who wants to end medical marijuana. Basically the question is, do you basically have to ignore all the studies? Is that what he's choosing to do? Is he just choosing to ignore all the studies, all the empirical evidence, all the anecdotal evidence? I mean, he likes the anecdotal evidence, evidently, for his column, but he doesn't like listening to the anecdotal evidence for marijuana, evidently. We even have empirical evidence. He has no empirical evidence. And just the hypocrisy of our security officials really gets to me sometimes. It's very frustrating because sometimes I feel like we are spinning our tires. Now, let's not take this time right now to acknowledge that we've moved the football across the field. I would say in the last 10 years, we have done a lot of good things. Getting marijuana closer to legalization, getting it more mainstream. We have conservative political figures, not just regular conservatives. I'm talking hardcore Tea Party conservatives. I'm talking Sarah Palin's, Chris Christie's, Glenn Beck. We're talking all kinds of different conservatives who are coming out in favor of medical marijuana. So we're moving the football a great deal, but it's to me that it's guys like this district attorney in Fort Collins, Colorado, and these police officers in San Diego are the reason why we are not across the goal line right now. And I don't understand. They almost basically had to have a blatant ignorance to facts, science, studies, anecdotal evidence. They just don't. It's almost like they don't care. Like they prefer their job security. They always need something to fight against. Maybe that's what they're going up against. They, as long as there's this enemy out there, basically, as long as they have this quote unquote enemy out there, they will always have a job. I know a lawyer. This is true. I know a lawyer in Washington, D.C., who works for the district attorney in D.C., and he tells me, Brian, I've told my boss I will no longer take pot cases. He is sick and tired. He is sick and tired of taking marijuana cases in Washington, D.C. Now, if we can just get that same attitude across this country, you will see a magnetic shift of budget shortfalls. It'll go from, I'm not saying marijuana is an end-all, fix-all, like the magic pill. I'm saying it's one cog in the wheel. It is one cog in the wheel that should have been taken care of years ago. We basically, there's like a double front war type thing. You also, not only do you increase revenue of money, tax revenue, you also decrease the resources used from the police officers, the prisons, the holding of these people who are they're just smoking marijuana. There's like a two-prong benefit type thing going on right here, and all we need to do is get the football a little bit farther down the line, get around these defenders who are this district attorney in Fort Collins, and we will make it happen. All right, this is Brian Reynolds, another podcast from thejanereport.com. Thanks for listening, and be sure to check back often for updates.